Here we are with lesson 12.3. We're going to talk about surface area of pyramids and cones. And remember, those two things, they all come to a point at the top and they only have one base. So we need to remember that there's only one base to those. So just getting into some vocab, a regular pyramid is a pyramid with a base that is a regular polygon. And remember, regular means all angles are congruent, all sides are congruent to each other. So your pyramids will always be regular unless you're told otherwise. Your slant height, so notice it is the height that is on one of the triangles. I call it the surface height because it's on the surface of the pyramid. We're going to talk about surface area of pyramids. So I remember which height to use because that height is going to be on the surface up on top of it. A right cone is a cone with an axis that is also the height. So it goes from the vertex and it goes to the center. An oblique cone is just a slanted cone. Your altitude or your height may not go to the center of your base, so it will just be the perpendicular height. All right, so lateral area, of a pyramid, that is just going to be all the triangles, not including the base. So remember, lateral area does not include the base. So we're going to say 1/2 the perimeter of my base. Remember, that's a big P, so we only talk about the base itself. So I'm talking about the square, the triangle, the circle. So I'm going to take the perimeter of my base times my slant height, and that's going to be the L. You'll see like a cursive L is your slant height, so just keep that in mind. That's going to be your surface height. And just to remind you that lateral area does not include your bases. So let's start out with our first one. We have a square pyramid. So my big P is going to be a square. So if I look at my square over here, I know that each side is going to be 2.5. So I'm going to say 2.5 times 4, or 2.5 plus 2.5 plus 2.5 plus 2.5. That's going to give me 10 centimeters. As my perimeter. My slant height is the surface height, so it's going to go from my point and it's going to be perpendicular to the side of my pyramid, so that would be 5. So when I get those two, I can just plug it in. So 1/2 10 times 5, 25 centimeters squared. All right, flip it over and check your progress. Here's your answer. Make sure you show all of your work to show that you are actually practicing these and completing them. All right, now we're going to talk about surface area. So surface area, remember, includes the base, and we only have one base. So notice there's only a 1 there. With our prisms and cones, we put a 2 there. So 1/2 your perimeter of your base, big P, times your slant height, L, plus 1 base, 1 big B. So remember, your P and your B are only going to talk about your base itself. So what are some of the shapes we'll see with a base? We'll see a triangle. So your big B might be 1/2 BH. Your big B might be BH. Your big B, if it's a circle, if it's a cone, will be pi r squared, and you might have a regular polygon there too. All right, so notice in my picture in the second problem, I have my height. So from my vertex perpendicular to my center, that would be my height. And remember, I need my slant height, which goes from my vertex perpendicular to my side length. So I need that. So you will have to find that sometime. So you first need to find your slant height. And you do it because of the Pythagorean theorem. Notice what I put right here. My height plus 1/2 of my base. And then my slant height will be my hypotenuse. So I'm going to say my height, 6 squared, plus 1/2 of my base, 4 squared, is going to equal L squared. So 36 plus 16 equals L squared. So L squared is going to equal 52. I'm going to take the square root, and for L, I'm just going to keep it as the square root of 52. You can put it into 4 decimal places if you want to. So I have L. Now I need my perimeter of my base and my base area. My big B and my big P. So my big P I know is a square, and it is 8 and 8. So 8 times 4 is going to give me 32 meters for my perimeter all the way around. And then my base area is also a square, so I'm going to say base times height of just this square. So 8 times 8 to give me 64. So I have my big B, my big P, and my slant height. So I'm now ready to plug it into my formula. So 1/2 my big P, the perimeter of your base, times your slant height, plus 1 base. So you don't even have to put that 1 there. Just put plus 64. If you do 2 bases, that will give you a close to being a prism, which we are not doing today. All right, you can stop this and check your progress. Make sure you do find your slant height. So make sure you are completing your Pythagorean theorem. All right, what if I have a pyramid that has a regular polygon's bottom? So remember, your surface area is 1/2 PL plus 1B, excuse me. So I first need to find my perimeter of my base. So the distance around my hexagon, and notice, 15 is your slant height. It goes from your vertex perpendicular to your side. So that is going to be your L, so you already have that. All right, so I need to find the perimeter of my hexagon, 6 sides, and each side is going to be 10.4. So my perimeter of my hexagon is going to equal 10.4 times 6. So that's going to equal 62.4 centimeters. So I have my perimeter of my base, I have my L, I need my big base now, my big B. So I know each side is 10.4. So remember your A, your N, and your S. So I know my N, my number of sides is 6. I know my side length is 10.4. So I only need my apothem. So I'm going to drop my apothem down here. And here is my right triangle. So you know your first steps are 360 divided by the number of sides to give you 60, and then you're going to divide that by 2 to get your right triangle's degree. So this angle right here is 30. So when I look at this right triangle, I have here is 30, here is A. Now this is going to be 5.2 because I have to split my side length in half. So I'm going to use tangent. Tan 30 equals 5.2 over A. So since it is on the top, I'm going to say 5.2 divided by the tangent of 30 in my calculator is going to equal your A. So your A is going to equal 9.006. You can do it to 4 decimal places. All right, so after you get A, N, and S, remember you're going to multiply all those times 1/2. So your big B is going to equal 1/2 times 9.006 times 6 times 10.4. All right, so your big B is going to be, I'm going to move over here, sorry. Your big B is going to be 281.008. All right, so you have your big P, your big B, and you also have your L, 15. So we are ready to solve our surface area of our pyramid. So 1/2 perimeter was 62.4 times your slant height, which was given as 15. We like it when our slant height is given, plus your big B that you found, 281.008. Once you put all of that into your calculator, you're going to get 749 centimeters squared. All right, your turn to find the area of this regular hexagonal pyramid. 6 sides, so you just work the same way we just did it. All right, what if we are with a cone? The same formulas, just in terms of pi. So your lateral area, if you follow the last formula, it's 1/2 your perimeter or your circumference times your slant height. Remember that slant height is on the surface still. But notice if I do 1/2 2 pi RL, notice the 1/2 and the 2's cancel. So that's how they get pi RL. So you can memorize that if you would like to. Same thing with your surface area. Pi RL plus pi R squared. That one circle for your base is going to be pi R squared, just like normal. All right. A sugar cone has an altitude. That is your height, your regular height. So that is from your point to your base of 8 inches and a diameter of 2.5 inches. Find the lateral area of your sugar cone. All right, lateral area. I need my R and I need my L. So I can find my R, but I first need to find my slant height because I'm only given my altitude. So if I draw my ice cream cone again, I know that my height is 8, my diameter is 2.5, so I know that my radius is 1.25. All right, so my slant height, notice I have my radius, my height, and here is my slant height. So I'm going to do the Pythagorean theorem with L as my, by itself, L squared equals 8 squared plus 1.25 squared. So my L squared is going to equal 65.5625. So if I square root that, my L is going to be 8.0971. Now I need to find my lateral area. So I'm going to say my lateral area equals 1/2 times my circumference, 2 pi R, times my slant height. Oh, that is my slant height, sorry. My radius, 1.25, times my slant height. So my lateral area is going to be 31.8 inches squared. All right, go ahead and try your next two, or your check your progress. Here's your lateral area. Go ahead and try this one too, your surface area. You're going to include that base in there. And notice that 3.2 is your slant height. Your area is going to be 20.2 centimeters squared. So go ahead and try that surface area. And then here is your last check your progress answer as well. So make sure you complete both of those. And then the last page is just all of those surface area and lateral area solid formulas put all in one page. So that may be a good reference page for you. So that completes our 12.3 video. We'll see you back next time.